Hey everybody, hey, thanks for tuning into Rob and Marvy's channel, and we're going to be doing a series right now, and it's going to be on where to overnight camp. A lot of folks have not left their homes yet. They're getting their cars or their vans or their RVs ready, and they're really kind of getting into this movement, or they're just going to take a really long trip, and it's really confusing on where to camp. Campsites have paid campsites, there's RV parks, there's BLM land, there's public forest land, national park land, there's Walmarts, there's box stores, there's restaurants. Where can you camp affordably and safely and with permission? And so this series is going to cover all of that as of 2019 and 20, which is the times we have been on the road. What I'd like to do first of all is talk about Walmart on this edition. And Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, all of those box stores I'd like to talk a little bit about. But what I'd like to do first of all is, since there's a lot of confusion on Walmart and everybody has their opinions, but if you go straight to the source, you're going to read, and this is what it says on their website: we do not offer electrical service or accommodations typically necessary for RV customers. Walmart values RV travelers and considers them among our best customers. Consequently, we do permit RV parking on our store parking lots as we are able. Permission to park is extended by individual store managers based on availability of parking spaces and local laws. Please contact the manager in each store to ensure that the accommodations are there before parking your RV. Okay, so folks, that's it in black and white. You can go to Walmart's website and see that. Okay, it's really important to know that there's conditions, and I'd like to talk about those. First of all, it's up to every individual manager. Some stores, if they're out in the middle of nowhere, like in Page, Arizona, where they know there's a lot of extra money coming into their store from tourism and RVs, because the town is kind of small itself and very isolated, you're going to get a lot more receptiveness to staying in these places. And again, this was as of, I think, last year. I was through there. Things have changed, so check on everything I say as relating to now, okay? Not next year when you take your trip. So the rural areas, you might find it being more receptive by the individual managers, why some place like in Las Vegas, no, with all the drugs and prostitution and homeless people and crime and people leaving trash and the whole thing that comes with cities, big cities, no, you can't stay in most of those. So just kind of be aware that it's up to the manager, and one would be based on the location. The next one would be based on, of course, availability. If it's a really small lot and they're really crowded, like maybe during the holidays, they're probably not going to want you there. And another thing, and the biggest one, would be city ordinances. For example, Boise, Idaho, they have a city ordinance that does not allow anybody anywhere within the city or city region to park overnight on a public or private street unless you are homeless and there are no other shelters available. Now, most of us aren't homeless, but and there's usually shelters available. So in other words, they've just shut down the town. So the ability to go to a Walmart there, no, I tried 2 of them and they said no, it's city ordinance that shut them down. So how do you camp at a Walmart? Well, I would start basically at that first part there before you go into a Walmart. And if you're going to stay in a town, call the local police and find out what the city ordinance is. Or if you're really good at Googling, just Google the city ordinance, spend about 10 or 15 minutes trying to find it for camping overnight or overnight on street, overnight parking. And but it's just as easy to pick up a phone and ask the police and say, hey, you're passing through town, you're camping, and you're going to ask this store if they could let you stay there. Do they have the authority to do that, or is it regulated by the city? And they would be happy to tell you about that. And then the next one would be if you if you checked and the city ordinances are good, then go to that Walmart. Now, the first thing is, if you notice when you go into the Walmart parking lot, there's a black security truck with the lights on going up and down and up and down. Most of Texas has that, and a lot of these Walmarts are hiring these security companies, and that black truck basically means you're not staying the night. No, they go 24/7. They drive up and down the lots, and so bad thing is that's a policy, and you're just not going to stay there. Good thing is it helps deter crime while you're shopping. But that's one thing, is if you see a black security truck, pickup truck going up and down, just don't even bother asking, because you're not going to spend the night there. We did that one time. We actually walked into a Walmart. The manager actually said it was okay, but we had to park on the furthest lot away from the store, and it was at the kind of the very end, towards some open lots and trash or grass and no buildings or anything. Well, as we went out, I saw one of those trucks, and I saw the security guard, and I asked him, and he says, yeah, no, you can't park on the lot. I said, but the manager said we could park. We had to go out to the farthest end of the lot. And he goes, oh yeah, but that is not our lot. That's not our property. That's some other company, and the police go by there all the time, and there's a lot of bad activity out there. So here I was assuming the manager was putting me onto their lot into an area that she said it would be okay, but she was basically just saying, no, going out there to that parking lot, we don't want you here. So again, look for the black trucks, and also be aware that not all Walmarts are on their own private property. A lot of the time they're on leased property, and leased property you kind of know, because there may be a dental offices and Whataburger restaurants and other things all around them, and that's a leased lot, and they will then tell you that no, you can't stay here because it is against the landlord's policy. So it has nothing to do with Walmart. So you're just going to have to kind of move along with that. Now, it's really interesting because Lowe's used to be able to, you could stay at a lot of Lowe's, Cracker Barrels could, but a lot of things have changed. One of the things with Cracker Barrel is the same thing I was just telling you, where, for an example, in Las Vegas they have two Cracker Barrels, one up north, one down south. The one up north, they just ask you most of the time at Cracker Barrel, if you buy a meal, a dinner or breakfast, cool, you can stay there. It's great. So we did up to the north one, everything was great. Went to the south one, by the Bass Pro Shop and a casino, and the manager said we could do the same. So we bought dinner, spent the night, and then went to Pahrump for a couple days, and then came back, and we were going to park there again, and we saw a security car driving around, and I wanted to make sure I didn't get off from the Cracker Barrel lot and get in trouble. So I stopped the security and I asked him where the line was, and he said there was no line. And I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, you can't park here. All of it is our property. I said, well, I thought it was Cracker Barrel's policy that you could stay there if you buy a meal. He goes, not this one, or not here, because we own everything. The casino owns the land for the Bass Pro Shop, for the Cracker Barrel, and you are not allowed to, and we're going to go talk to that manager. She should not have told you that. So I think I got someone in trouble. But just be aware, city ordinance first kind of trumps everything, and then if it's not their lot, that's going to be the next layer. And then finally you go up to the manager, and it's up to the manager's discretion. And times are changing with all of the riots that kind of take advantage of all the peaceful protests. Those people who are committing criminal acts have a lot of people scared, and I came across quite a few Walmarts during the peak of that just shut down anybody, even trucks, parking in their lots, because they just didn't want to run the risk of some criminals breaking into their store and being violent. So be aware of that. They know you're there to spend money. They appreciate it. But again, the times are changing. The times are changing from 10 years ago, when like 75% of Walmarts let you camp there, and thus everybody thinks Walmarts are great. My experience is, gosh, not even 30% now. Of my experience, I'm sure there's going to be someone who, no, it's 34%, Rob, not 30%. Okay, great. whatever. But just be aware, it's been a huge decline in the availability of Walmart, and it's not always up to the Walmart's manager, but it is up to them. But it's also city ordinance and private property. But you can't go up to a Walmart manager and go, but it's a corporate policy, because the corporate policy, as you heard me read, was very clear. It's up to the discretion of the managers of the store. And by the way, make sure you talk to a manager. Don't talk to like maybe the front end manager or the cashier manager. Talk to a real manager, and always get their name and remember what they look like. And make sure you go where they tell you to park. So if they say, sure, you can park over here, don't park over there, park over there. Okay, it's pretty simple. So a couple other things just to wrap this up with Walmart's some do's and don'ts. Don't make a weekend or a week holiday out of this thing. Just stay one night. Be discreet. Don't open up your slides. Don't set out your lawn chairs. Don't set out your barbecue. Pick up your trash. And park where it's safe. That's more important than anything. So if they say park over there, and then over there has a choice of under a dark shady tree in a little nook out of the way where you think it's going to be great, you're not bothering anyone, or 10 feet away under a direct light, park under the light. You know, there's bad people everywhere, and you just don't want that hassle. So even if it's a little bit unlevel, be safe. You're in the shadows. There's only a certain type of person that really kind of hangs out at 2 in the morning under the shadows in the dark cover of darkness. So make some smart decisions. And other than that, you should have an okay time with Walmart's. That's it for now. I do want to give it a shout out to all of those folks that have been purchasing Amazon products that they normally buy but are using our links. And to get to our links, you can go to any of our products listed down below that say are Amazon links, or you can go to robandmarvy.com, and we've got a bunch of links there. Even if you don't buy, let's say you go down below and you see one that says something about a camp stove and you click on it, you don't have to buy that camp stove. You've just opened up the gateway into Amazon, and anything you purchase normally, we will get an anonymous compensation for that, which means we don't know who you are. We see the list of what was purchased, but you don't have to worry about we know who you are. And so we get compensated from Amazon as an affiliate of theirs, but there's no price difference to you. It's completely transparent. And some of our folks who decide they don't want to do Patreon and support us that way know that it's no skin off their teeth by just doing all of their purchasing through our links. And so thank you. There's several of you who've been making some pretty big purchases, and we do appreciate that. Little bit of small compensation from Amazon for having that link for you guys. That's it for this week. Next week, I will cover another topic on where you can camp overnight. Okay, until then, we'll see you down the road.